Good morning, America. How are ya? Monday morning rail. I'm your native son. Hi, I'm Denny Jelsma, and I'm at the world famous Jacksonville Terminal Railroad Museum. Today is Monday, and you know what we do on Monday? You guessed it. We do show and tell. Show and tell is always brought to you by Jelsma Graphics, the people that make all the embroidered jackets, hats, shirts, you name it. You need any shirts for your club? Give us a call or go on the website at jelsma.com. Now, with all that being said, I want to just say thank you for all the people that have been following us on Facebook and YouTube. Number two and I went to St. Louis, Missouri this past weekend, and we were on the Ken Patterson What's Neat This Week show number 312. And make sure that you watch that show, and you'll see the world famous Andrew Casey, and he's even got glossy photos that you could that he signs, and so that's real interesting. And you'll see Richard New, he has glossy photos, and then our cameraman that's number two, Greg Turn, he has this. Make sure that when you see us at a show, to ask those guys for an autograph or a glossy photo. Now, we have a very exciting show, and I think you're going to really like it. Because it's going to be presented to you by our famous number two. And with all that being said, show and tell is going to start right now.
Good morning. I know Denny said something about we were going to have a little discussion about fish and fish transport by rail. Now, of course, for a long time, the express companies handled fresh and frozen fish for both sportsmen and commercial fishermen. Some railroads also handled it in carload lots, but that's not what we're going to talk about today. A little background. As early as the 1860s, Pennsylvania was concerned about the decline of sport and commercial fish stocks, particularly the American shad. In 1866, the Commonwealth established the Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission, whose primary original emphasis was the American shad. The commission soon established its first hatchery, and of course, once you have a hatchery and baby fish, you have to have a way to get them where you want them. So in 1892, the Fish Commission had rail car called Susquehanna, was built specifically to carry fish to stock in Pennsylvania waters. And I have a picture of that right here. You can see this is the picture. Okay. We know, for example, that this car went out of state at least twice. It took fish and displays to the 1893 Chicago World's Fair and the 1904 St. Louis World's Fair. It was in service until 1914. It was not replaced with another car, so during that 24-year period, that was the way fish were transported to be, again, stocked to rivers, creeks, lakes in the Commonwealth. In 1999, the Pennsylvania Fish Commission had 1,000 models of this car made. And as you can see, this is one number 176 out of 1,000. These cars were made available to people who purchased fishing licenses directly from the commission, as opposed to buying them at a retail store or something like that. Okay. And I have a model of that here. This model was found by a friend of mine in an antique store. This is the way you see it here is the way it would normally have been operated as an independent train with just the car, and they would have, like I said, transported the fish from the hatcheries to lakes and rivers and creeks and wherever they needed to dump off cars or dump off fish. Now, we have nothing that would tell us what the interior of this car would look like, but I do have a little bit on a similar car. Now, this is a picture of a car that was made for the New York Conservation, I think it is. New York Conservation Adirondack. So we have a picture of the outside, and we also have a picture of the inside layout. And you notice it has an area for the crew. It then has bins that contained cans that would hold the fish, and then at the far end we have a pump to keep it oxygenated and the water flowing, a boiler, and what I find interesting is right here there's an ice box. And you might ask yourself, why would we have an ice box next to the pump in a fish car? Well, if any of you people are like me and have swum in a creek or a spring-fed creek, you know they only come in two forms. They're either cold or they're really cold. And one of the things we know about fish is that they are susceptible to changes in temperature. So if you're transporting a cold weather fish, say a trout, to the big bushgill or little bushgill, you're going to want the water in the car to be very close to the same temperature as the creek that you're going to put the fish in. And so that's why they would have an ice bin there. That's about what I had. What else did I have to say? Oh, and just as an aside, okay, in addition to these, the federal government also had had a series of 4 fish cars. Now they used those not to stock like within the state, but they use those to transport fish long distances, perhaps taking Atlantic salmon to the Pacific coast. Some of those trips worked out well. The fish became well established and successful in their new homes. Some of them failed, and some of them ended up obviously becoming a nuisance fish that they had to get rid of. Okay, just a little aside on those cars. The first car that they had a manual pump, and they would have people from the train that they were on, the passenger train, come back and have them operate the pump again on this car as it transported fish over long distances. But I think that's what I had to say. So now you know a little bit about a kind of an unusual operation that some of our railroads have. And again, we're here, we're ready to stock this particular creek with whatever, could be shad, could be pike, could be pickerel, could be trout, pretty much anything that Pennsylvania might have put into one of their rivers, their creeks, their lakes, and That's the way it is. In Jacksonville, as Denny says, where running trains is a pleasure in peace and harmony and air-conditioned comfort.